day we were supposed to turn in our proposals for our final project. I told Adrian that I wanted to translate some poems maybe. She said the only author we had read that also wrote poetry was Oba Minako. So I talked to Sakai-san, and she kind of directed me to some books of poetry by Oba Minako, but she and I both thought that it'd probably be much too difficult for me. But she told me about this other poet named Kaneko Misuzu, and she was writing for she died in 1930, and she wrote for maybe the last 10 years of her life, her parents owned a bookstore. They were kind of merchants, and when she was in her early 20s, she started kind of having romantic. Well, she had a brother, but they weren't blood related, and I guess they really weren't in love with each other. And he was more direct about it, and he let her know that he had these feelings about her, but she kind of rejected him, and she ended up marrying this kind of businessman socialite that lived in Tokyo, and she worked at a bookstore there. After they were married for a little while, he wouldn't let her work anymore, and he wouldn't let her write poems. And she started writing them in secret. Sometime after she'd had her only child, a girl, she realized that she'd gotten venereal disease because her husband was spending a lot of time with prostitutes. But luckily, there was nothing wrong with their daughter. But around that time, Kaneko Misuzu was prescribed these painkillers for the venereal disease, and she started collecting them because she was planning her suicide. And then she started writing poems again around this time, and she was pretty much